Hello, my name is Jack. Welcome back to my vault. Today, I am not going to tell you a theory. I'm going to tell you something the United States government admitted, in writing, with documents. What you are about to hear is not speculation. It is confirmed, declassified, proven fact. For over 20 years, the CIA ran a secret program on American soil. They experimented on their own citizens, without consent, without warning. Some of those people never recovered. Some of them died. And for decades, the government looked the world in the eye and said, "This never happened." They were lying. This is MKUltra, and the vault is now open. To understand MKUltra, you need to understand the world that created it. 1950. The Cold War is beginning. American intelligence agencies become convinced of something terrifying, that the Soviets have developed techniques to control the human mind. American prisoners returning from Korea are behaving strangely, making public confessions that seem rehearsed, denouncing their own country on camera. The CIA concludes the Soviets must have found a way to reprogram the human brain. Their response is simple and horrifying. We need to find out how they did it, and we need to do it better. In April 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles officially authorizes a classified program called MKUltra. Its stated goal to develop techniques for mind control, behavior modification, and the extraction of information from unwilling subjects. In other words, to break the human mind and then rebuild it. The program would run for over 20 years, involve at least 80 institutions across the United States and Canada universities, hospitals, prisons, and use real human beings as its test subjects. The primary tool was a drug called LSD. The CIA believed it could unlock the mind, make people tell the truth, force them to forget, make them do things they would never do voluntarily. They tested it first on volunteers, then on prisoners, then on people who had absolutely no idea what was being done to them. Operation Midnight Climax was the most disturbing chapter. The CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York. Unsuspecting men were brought in and given drinks laced with LSD without their knowledge. CIA agents watched through one-way mirrors and took detailed notes. Ordinary civilians, men who had done nothing wrong. Some suffered severe psychological breaks and never fully recovered. MKUltra also tested extreme sensory deprivation, prolonged sleep deprivation, and electroconvulsive therapy at levels far beyond medical acceptance. The most infamous case involved Frank Olson, a CIA scientist who was given LSD without his knowledge at a work retreat. 9 days later, he fell from a 13th floor in New York City. His death was ruled a suicide. His family never believed it. When his body was exhumed decades later, forensic evidence suggested he had been struck on the head before going through the window. The truth about Frank Olson has never been fully established. MKUltra ran from 1953 to 1973. 20 years of secret government experiments on American citizens. And then they tried to make sure no one would ever find out. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the complete destruction of all MKUltra files. Thousands of documents were shredded in a single operation. The program was designed to disappear from history entirely, and it almost succeeded. But in 1977, a CIA employee discovered a critical filing error. A large collection of MKUltra financial records had been misfiled in a separate warehouse and survived the destruction. Journalists obtained them through a Freedom of Information Act request. Senate hearings were called. Survivors came forward for the first time. The CIA admitted the program had existed. They admitted people had been harmed. They paid settlements to some victims. But the documents that survived were only a fraction of what had been destroyed. How many people were experimented on? Estimates range from hundreds to thousands. How many were permanently damaged? Unknown. How many died? Unknown. The program touched at least 80 institutions, universities, families trusted with their children, and hospitals, patients trusted with their lives. MKUltra did not end in ancient history. The last experiments ended in 1973, within the lifetime of people alive today. The scientists who designed and ran those programs lived normal lives afterward. Most were never charged. Most were never publicly named. The institutions that participated faced no serious consequences. And the question that haunts every researcher who has ever studied this case remains exactly the same. If this is what they admitted to, what did they destroy? The vault for MKUltra is now locked, but the next secret is already waiting behind the next door. Subscribe to enter the vault. My name is Jack. Keep your eyes open.